Hello, Intactivist. Today is the Intactivist news for the week. But first, do you guys like my setup? Pretty sweet, right? I first would like to thank Freepik for this amazing background. They aren't sponsoring or anything, but I do appreciate the background. I'll attribute them in the comments for those who want the free hookup. So, in Intactivist news today, we have Eliyahu and Brendan keeps on fighting. Which, don't get me wrong, if there is slander and defamation going on, that's definitely a problem. But look at this. 10 out of 16 articles of Conte News is tied to Eliyahu defaming or slandering or just accusing Intactivists. And I don't want to feed into Eliyahu's fame, because quite frankly, this is an amazing marketing strategy, because all publicity is good publicity for Eliyahu. So why am I covering him? Great question. Moving on. Bloodstained men show harmful reality of circumcision in Hayes and Great Bend protest. So the Bloodstained men have gathered in Hayes and Great Bend to raise awareness, and they got published in an article, which is pretty sweet. We could read this, but look at the local news. I think that's the real story around here. For those who don't know, Bloodstained Men, they go around and they tell people about the dangers of circumcision, and they protect so many kids. It's really awesome, and they're so committed. They do this year round, it seems like. Look at all these pictures. Look, we got this guy just going in front of traffic. That's awesome. Even got women on the team. Look, I love those signs. Those signs are awesome. They definitely get the eyes of people. And then this kind of article goes in and tries to be non-biased and talks about, this as non-biased as possible. But yeah, this is really good though. This is awesome. This is how you win hearts and minds, by getting the conversation out there. So good job, Bloodstained Men. Speaking of Bloodstained Men and other Intactivist groups, Cockfight has put out their tour and location dates. I happen to love Cockfight. I actually know Brett Johnson, the leader of Cockfight. I talked to him on the phone before. Great dude. Seriously, this man cares. He is so passionate about ending circumcision. Nothing gets to him. And he is so open-minded, which is great. He is also dedicated. He's done so many solo protests and educates so many people with very little funding. He gets a fraction of what the Bloodstained Men get. But look at all these places he's going. He's going to Kansas City, going to Colorado, going to St. Paul, St. Louis, Denver, just so many places he's going to, and it's really awesome. No, I don't have an interview with him coming up, but if Brett would like, I could definitely fit him in. We do have spots available. Comment down below if you want to see Brett Johnson on this channel. Also, come on, Conte News. Look at this. It's been how many protests he has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days of protests, and not a single article about that. Why don't we have an interview? Well, come on. I think Brett should be on Conte News more. I think he's definitely doing quite a bit. In other news, foreskin restoration survey has been published in the Sexual Medical Journal, which is awesome for the tuggers. Big hype for them. Let's go. That's awesome. This here is the article that got published, which is super cool that they were able to accomplish this. Even has one citation, which is great, which is good. Yeah, I cannot get the full subscription content, but you know what? This is awesome. Getting the news out there. There is a lot of good Intactivist news out there, guys. We are crushing it. In Foregen news, successful month with new developments and advancements. Here are the key updates. Our research is taking steps forward as we've submitted a request to the Ethics Review Institution at the University of Camerino. This application is for the approval of the next round of sheep trials. So I've read this article. They are writing an ethics review on getting more sheep. Histologics is making progress on obtaining foreskins, which doesn't really define progress in here. Like they don't define progress. Are they sending emails? Like, what is progress? Our partner Histologics continues to make strides in our collaborative histology study. They are presently making progress in sourcing foreskin tissues. Are they writing emails? Are the foreskin tissues on the way? What's the progress? That's so vague. Dr. Palumbo, Angela, has a special update, which I actually watched the video. I'm just going to tell you what I've noticed. So 3 things. 1, Angela is confident that they will be able to start in September with new sheep. 2nd, they are using a pocket method with the next round of sheep. They attempted this before and they are happy with the results, so they are retesting it again on new sheep. With this method, foreskin engrafted without difficulty, Angela said. The clinical and histological results were excellent, which is great because in the beginning of the trial, Angela admitted that perhaps we had too much optimism. When they implanted the foreskin, the upper portion of it died. I love the fact that Angela admitted that perhaps they were too optimistic, because Foregen is accused all the time of being too optimistic by certain intactivists, and just admitting perhaps we had too much optimism is humbling, and I love it when people are, when they're not like super high on their high horse and they can admit mistakes. I think that's how you get stuff done. So hopefully this can bring in more intactivists. I hope so. Speaking of being optimistic, flooding in Rimini, Italy. We faced an unforeseen event this month with serious flooding occurred in Rimini. We are relieved to report that all our Italian staff and scientists are safe and operations were not affected. We are proud of our team's resilience and dedication amidst such circumstances. Well, I did some digging on that. Alright, so if we go to the Foregen site, Foregen is located in Rome, Italy. Right, this is where they're located at. Rome, Italy. And it was in Rimini. So if we go, so this here is where the flood actually happened, right here, right? This is where it happened. Rome is right here, is like in the middle of Italy. And even if Foregen was in Venice, which is on the upper side of this map, that's still like 60 miles away from the flooding. So unless Foregen's family or relatives or friends were affected in this flooding, I don't know how that proves your resilience at all. I think that's just Foregen's optimism that they get accused of being. Like, hey, Foregen's impenetrable. You can't break us as long as the natural disasters are just 60 miles to 100 miles away from us. We can just keep on going. Like, okay, good job. I just feel like this was an excuse to pat themselves on the back. I just don't see how this proves resiliency. I think it proves you were lucky. But okay, anyways, the Foregenites, can we call the supporters that? I don't know what the supporters call themselves. Foregen supporters has raised over $19,000 in May. So that is awesome. Well, that's it for today's Intactivist news, guys. Please like and subscribe.